It'll be interesting to see where he goes. There are rumors that the Jets could be interested. Of course, you've got Breece Hall coming off that ACL tear as he, works his way back. Maybe picking up someone like Dalvin Cook could be a good person to have there in terms of depth at the running back position, or even another team that relied heavily on their running back, Kenneth Walker and the Seahawks. Maybe some situations where teams rely, more on the running back position, and there's some questions there, could be intriguing to take a look at someone like Dalvin Cook.
Yeah. Cook coming off his fourth straight 1,000-yard campaign, 52 career touchdowns. I think one of the reasons why he was able to get to quadruple digits as far as rushing yards is concerned is because the Vikings were out to some sizable leads. And granted, it was one of those things where you do run the ball when you do have a lead, and the Vikings have become more analytically sound as far as that's concerned, instead of relying on the ground attack to be able to win football games. Perhaps we saw less of that last year, but again, he is a name. He will have multiple suitors. He's only 27 years of age, and he can still be an impactful contributor. And I think also, too, it suggests that as far as the dollars and cents go with the Vikings, you don't necessarily want to lose a running back with that name, probably more for business sense than anything else. But the Vikings aren't playing around anymore. And I think it's, if nothing else, an indicator that they're thinking about these things and going about these things the right way. And I agree with you, Joe. Like, Madison will get more carries now. Can he be the guy? Can he be the workhorse? To me, I think he certainly can, and it may not impact how I think of the Vikings as far as how I'm going to bet on them this season, but it certainly suggests that the Vikings are headed in the right direction, and I think that is really important.
But I think I need a little more time before I just make a decision and bet Nuggets -3 or Heat +3.5.
I'm not going to bet the spread, but I'll tell you right now, I don't see this changing. I'm going to bet Heat +140 tomorrow. That's how I feel.
On the money.
Like
there you
it.
go.
Yeah.
There you go. So here's something to keep in mind as far as Miami's playoff run. First of all, I've said this enough times to both of you guys that playoff games are likelier to be blowouts than games in the regular season. So it's important to keep that in mind so that you do not overreact to a game where it looks like that one absolutely dominated the other. The other thing, too, is when you look at Miami's playoff run, in the first series, they lost a game by 16. In the second series, they were pretty much in every contest, and they only lost one by 9. But in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Celtics, Miami lost one game by 17 and another game by 13. Again, they won all of these series, but there were performances where they looked like they were outmatched. And that's what we saw in Game 3. A team that looked smaller, did not have the length, maybe didn't have the energy and stamina to compete with the Nuggets on the floor. That is what we saw, but there have been other instances where the Heat have looked like that, and they wound up winning that series. Now, I'm not saying they're going to win the finals, but this is an important lesson in making sure you do not overreact to one game.
Alex, I remember we talked, I think it was last week, will all this rest affect Bobrovsky? And it did. The dude seems like he turned back into a pumpkin. And then on the flip side, what are you expecting from Aiden Hill? Like, is he going to continue this? Because he's having a phenomenal playoffs. And is he due for a clunker or an off night?
Yeah, I mean, well, Bobrovsky, the glass slippers definitely fell off with him. And like you said, you have to look at his overall body of work throughout the year, not just what he's done in the playoffs, and that's been fantastic. I don't want to knock anything on that. But like you said, if you look at just kind of the pattern of play during the regular season, yeah, he had some hot runs here and there, 3 or 4 games, and then all of a sudden, when he cooled off, it was in a tremendously bad way. I mean, you go from only giving up 6 goals the entire Carolina series to giving up 8 goals in essentially, 87 minutes? That's pretty bad. So I don't know if he's going to regain his form. But on the flip side, Aiden Hill, I think he's going to continue this hot little run that he has. And he's just improved his game. It's not just so much that he's just gotten hot at the right time. You just see his mechanics. And watch a clip of him, in these last few games, and then go back and find some Aiden Hill video from the early this season or even, previous years with other teams like Arizona and San Jose, he has changed his game drastically. And I think it's got a lot to do with Sean Burke, who's the goaltending coach for the Vegas Golden Knights. Think about all the goalies Vegas has had. 6 years, and the 2 times they've been in the Stanley Cup final, each of those seasons they had 5 goaltenders that had to play as starters at one time or another. So there's something they're doing right with the goaltending tree in Vegas. I think Sean Burke has a lot to do with that.
We've got to say that you're chasing Ellie De La Cruz. The fever is here. Unreal movement in the odds a couple weeks ago. That's another one that was 50-1. And now we're seeing this morning, Sean, it get all the way down to plus 350. You get the call up, you get a game, and now you get plus 350 odds with Carroll, who's having a terrific season. I'm not even going to ask if this is out of control. We know it's out of control. What are your thoughts on the NL Rookie of the Year market?
Yeah, I think Corbin Carroll might be getting undervalued here. I bet on Ellie. I bet on Francisco Alvarez. I bet on Ellie 30-1 last weekend, basically speculating on the call-up, bet him in the preseason. But Corbin Carroll is sitting at 11 homers, 18 steals, and a 928 OPS through 60 games. He has a huge lead on the rest of the field. He's already at 2.6 wins above replacement. In order to win the NL Rookie of the Year or win either Rookie of the Year, you basically need to lead your league in wins above replacement. So Ellie has a substantial gap to close relative to Corbin Carroll. If he's going to play shortstop, that will inflate naturally because playing a harder defensive position is just going to naturally inflate your wins above replacement on the positional adjustment if all other things are equal. So if he can somewhat catch up and make the stats relatively comparable by the end of the season, if Corbin Carroll gets hurt and ends up going on the IL at some point, it opens the door for Ellie. But I think plus 350 is absurd at this point. He should probably be 10-1 or 15-1, given the fact that he has 58 games, 57 games, fewer than Corbin Carroll, to catch up in terms of building his counting stats. So, I actually woke up and saw the odds board today and said, do I hedge out with Corbin Carroll maybe a little bit here because he's built up quite a lead and what he's doing is almost being overlooked. He has a real chance to go 30-30 if he picks up the power the rest of the way. And this kid is an absolute superstar. He's 22 years old, too. So Corbin Carroll, one of the more underhyped rookie seasons, dominant rookie seasons I think we've ever seen with all the other quality of rookies we have on the East Coast.
You want to hear what the text was about?
Sure.
Yes, we do, Aaron.
So do you really think we were going to say no?
Oh, I'm good.
All right, maybe some people can relate to this. He snores a lot. And I didn't break up with him because of it, but I actually felt sad when he texted me saying, I got an app. I didn't realize how bad my snoring is, and I wanted you to know that I got it fixed.
The snoring?
Yes, I don't know.
Was he aware? Was he aware of the snoring? Had someone else told him this before you? Or was this a new revelation to him?
But he said he went to some type of doctor or specialist. He's like, I think it I don't know what. I didn't ask too many questions about it. But yeah, so he gave me the update, and I was like, does he think we stopped hanging out because of the snore?
I have zero issues with it. He's going to do whatever he has to do.
No,
handlebar, go. No. Jake, please jump in.
Listen, as somebody that out of everyone here most recently sent a 2 a.m., 3 a.m., you up type of text, you can't be doing this. I get it. You guys are friends and you talk a little bit already, but you can't come out of the blue with this. If it comes up in conversation and you're talking about whatever, I don't even know how you would get there in normal conversation, but you can't come out of the blue with, remember how this used to be an issue when we were talking or dating or whatever? Well, I got it fixed.
He didn't
now.
say all that. He didn't say that.
I know, but it's about the
implication,
subtext, Joe. Yeah, it's about the implication.